Welcome, I'm Millicent Walker. Tonight, Vice President Professor Osinbajo assures oil-producing communities in the Niger Delta of federal government's commitment to equitable distribution of resources. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris briefs President Buhari on deployment of policemen to crisis areas in the country. And All Progressives Congress members in the House of Representatives assure party's leadership of the party of their commitment to timely passage of the 2017 budget. U.S. President Donald Trump's health care bill fails to garner enough votes in the House of Representatives.
And on business news tonight, World Bank approves $200 million loan to support federal government efforts at boosting small and mid-scale farming in the country.
And on sports news tonight, Nigeria Professional Football League Under-17 All-Stars to face Atletico Madrid in the final of the 2017 Future Champions Tournament in South Africa.
And from Abuja, Court of Appeal nullifies 2015 impeachment of former Ondo State Deputy Governor Ali Olanusi, orders restoration of his benefits.
Well, we begin in Abia State, southeast Nigeria, where the federal government is designing a new pathway in the oil development sector, which involves partnering with oil-producing communities. The Vice President, Professor Osinbajo, was speaking during a town hall meeting in Umuahia, where he took time to listen to the yearnings and demands made by the people in line with the planned partnership with oil-producing states. According to him, Nigeria must make haste and use its abundant oil in the country for investment by creating a hub for petrochemical refinery activities, among others.
In November 2016, the Niger Delta Forum panel visited the President at Abia and submitted a 16-point roadmap on how to develop the oil-producing communities. The President therefore decided that we must undertake visits to all of the oil-producing areas of our country to engage in the leadership and the people of these communities, to hear them, to seek to better understand their problems and concerns, and also to present a new vision and a new company to the people of the oil-producing community.
Someone will be able to embellish the aspirations of our people in terms of education, infrastructure, inclusion in amnesty program of the federal government.
The Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris has held a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari to update him on the deployment of the police in crisis areas in the country and his efforts to ensure that the country and its people are well secured. Speaking to State House correspondents after the meeting, Mr. Idris said his men have made concerted efforts to stop the recent communal clashes which claimed 46 lives. The police IG also expressed doubts over the involvement of Fulani herdsmen in the recent killings in Zaki Biam, Benue State.
We don't look at crime in the, identity of where you come from. Or if you look at that Ife crisis, if you see how it started, it's just a disagreement between two people selling food along the road. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to look at the dynamics of the country itself. And obviously when you have such a situation, we have to react to it. Wherever the criminal crime occurred, we have to move in to ensure that we provide security to the people.
What are you doing on Benue?
Benue, like I told you, we have deployed, the first time we deployed mobile police units, that's on 16th of this month, and of recent, of that incident that happened at Zaki Biam. There are allegations on that Ghana or whatever, one of the wanted militants. This man has been in the police wanted list, and because of that, I now decided to deploy some special units, both investigative, this anti-terrorism unit, to go there to go after him wherever they can get him. And like I'm telling you, like I said earlier, definitely that man we're going to get him.
Members of the All Progressives Congress, members in the House of Representatives have assured the leadership of the party of their commitment to the timely passage of the 2017 budget. Well, this was said during a meeting with members of the APC National Working Committee led by the National Chairman, Mr. John Oyegun, at the National Assembly. Mr. Oyegun, while addressing journalists after the meeting, said the leadership of the party is impressed with the performance of lawmakers, adding that the visit was to appreciate them for a job well done.
We discussed general issues, the budget and the progress it is making. The fact that the House has been very, very supportive of government, of the party, and we had cause to congratulate the Right Honourable Speaker and members for the way so far they have been behind government and behind the party. Of course, a few other housekeeping issues, which will be of no interest to me.
It's been 9 months since Nigeria floated its currency through the introduction of a new policy agenda that, well, unpegged the local units, looking to enthrone a new regime of market-based foreign exchange market. Well, since the new year started, however, the central bank has introduced a new forex market easing guidelines and begun selling millions of dollars into the various market segments, seeking to tame tumbling value of the naira against the United States dollars. Well, Channel's business editor Bosun Omofaye in this report provides a snapshot of the recent developments in Nigeria's emerging foreign exchange market as the sun shines on the value of the naira.
Some estimates say the Central Bank of Nigeria has spent some $1.5 billion to fight speculators at the foreign exchange market in the past few weeks. And the result, the value of the local unit has rallied strongly from a low of 520 at the street market sometime in January to about 380 in the current week.
That the Monetary Policy Committee
in January this year, the financial regulator reviewed the foreign exchange market policy that was issued in June 2016. Under the new guidelines, the CBN relaxed rules around the sale of forex for personal travel allowances, medicals, and school fees. The new guidelines also reduced the duration of contracts of forward FX and threw in more transparency into disclosures of transactions at the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange.
Lack of competitiveness of
But the most noticeable of all in the actions of the central bank was the rapid sale of foreign exchange into the interbank spot market, the forwards FX, and special foreign exchange sales. Included in the new arrangement were the thousands of bureau de change operators. The regulator increased the volume of FX available to the BDCs via inward money transfers and intervened with direct foreign sales regularly. The resultant effect of taming the runaway naira-dollar street rate that hits record high as the new year 2017 started had been attributed to the steady oil prices above $50 a barrel since late 2016 as oil producers agreed to cut back in output. Nigeria was exempted from the cutback arrangement due to militant activities that have since tapered off, benefiting from the oil price rally that has pushed the country's forex reserves to a new high north of $30 billion. But the question on the lips of almost everyone was how sustainable was the central bank's forex rapid-fire intervention and the bullish naira value as global oil prices start to soften once again. Bosun Omofaye, Channel's Business News.
Well, joining us on the news at 10 to discuss the health of the naira is Mr. Aminu Gwadabe. He is the president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, that's APCON. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Good evening. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Flowing from what my colleague just said, is the sun shining on the value of the naira?
Definitely. The naira has been experiencing a great leap, like he said, with about 120 basis points, which translates to about 20% appreciation from a low level of 520 to about 380 as at the close of business today. Yeah.
So it's rather interesting. The Central Bank of Nigeria have been making several efforts so far, especially shoring up the forex into the market. What do you make of these interventions? Do you think they are sustainable?
Yes, you see, no country want to just willingly depreciate its own currency. There must be pressures that are internal and external that forces a regulator to depreciate its currency. Like we have been seeing tapestry of foreign exchange policies. Like you said, last year, there was the single exchange market, and also this year there's a review of that policy. Part of the features of that policy was banning of Pt.1 items, trying to harmonize all the rates in the market. Those were part of the objective in that market. That was last year. And this year, mostly the review was on intervention, injection of liquidity, because last year the policy did not really help in bringing the liquidity that we were expecting. The argument then was, if you devalue the naira, the foreign investors will have more confidence and they will inflow the dollars. Unfortunately, we did not see that. So that was the reason why there should be a reverse of that situation.
Okay.
And they now come in with intervention.
You're the president of the Association of Bureau d'Echange Operators.
Yeah.
Where does your interest lie? With the CBN, with Nigerians? I mean, where does your interest lie?
Yeah, you see, in 2017, the Bureau d'Echange, under the umbrella of the Association of Bureau d'Echange Operators, ABCOM, came up with what we call uniformity in foreign exchange rate. We have launched that, and that we gave to the CBN the initiative or the incentive for their policy to work, where the sectors that came crying, sensitizing the public that there must be a uniform rate. We did that in 2017, January, and from there is the basis within which we are seeing what is happening today. So we are happy that part of our outlook in 2017 has been achieved for a uniform exchange rate. However, as a group, most of the time when these policies came, we are always alienated. We are not meant to be part of it. I remember in the foreign exchange of last year, no mention of Bureau d'Echange was done in that whole format of that single market exchange rate. Even the new policy came up with a different applicable exchange rate. The banks and travelers were buying at interbank volumes of $1.5 billion, like was mentioned in the news, but the BDC are still limited with the proceeds of IMTOs. Each BDC collect about $8,000 weekly, and we're about 3,000. So that amount to $25 million. And our rate of purchases is 381, and our selling price is 400 or 399.
Just before
As
I
at
ask,
today,
yes,
the BDCs are going to incur more than 130 million naira as a result of regulatory crisis.
Okay, just before I ask, I was just going to find out what you think can be done, because, I mean, it's been pegged on the fact that we have oil prices at a certain point.
Right.
I mean, if oil prices drop, what happens?
Honestly, that's a bad news, because the CBN is dependent. Their injection of liquidity is dependent, solely dependent, as I'm concerned, on the increase on crude oil. Yes, we are saving about $30 per barrel, which translates to about $60 million daily. So that's a huge chunk of income coming into our fiscal.
So what would you
buffer.
advise?
So my advice is that there must be diversification of the stream of income. We should not rely only on the crude oil sales.
Okay.
We should look at other sources like diaspora remittances.
Okay.
It's about $35 billion. We should also look at the foreign investors.
Many
Thank
thanks.
God
I'm
we
so
have.
sorry that I have to cut you short. I'm sure we'll definitely have time to talk more about this.
Okay, thank
I've been
you.
speaking to Mr. Aminu Gwadabe, President of the Association of Bureau d'Echange Operators of Nigeria. In part two, after the break, 2 suicide attempts failed in Lagos. Fishermen rescue 71-year-old woman from Lagos Lagoon. Police prevent another woman from jumping in. Stay with us.